Good morning and welcome back to Mobility Matters. I'm your host, Javier Betancourt, Executive Director of the Citizens Independent Transportation Trust, or CITT. We're the quasi-independent agency of Miami-Dade County charged with overseeing your half-penny sales tax for transportation. Really excited for today's program because I have an old friend who's been on the program before in a different capacity, Eulois Cleckley. Eulois, welcome to the program.
Yes, thank you, Javier.
Welcome back, I should say.
Thank you. And I do have to give you some kudos. You have a fantastic set here as compared to the last time I was here. So.
It's a beautiful set, and so we've had a few programs here now, but this is, of course, Miami's community newspaper set, so we have to thank them for continuing to host and produce the program.
Well, they've done a great job.
So Eulois, last time you were here in your capacity as president and CEO of the Department of Transportation and Public Works for Miami-Dade County. But now you are here in a new role as Chief Executive Officer, CEO of Friends of the Underline, right?
Correct. That's correct. I had a great tenure. I was a director and CEO of the Department of Transportation and Public Works for Miami-Dade County. Accomplished quite a bit during my tenure. Anytime that you're in those leadership positions as a director, your job is just to show progress. Yeah. Transportation continues to be a topic of discussion here in Miami-Dade County and figure out ways to make our infrastructure better, to move people around in a more efficient manner, whether it be walking, biking, or using transit. That's really the focus of that department. And the team that we built there and the projects that we worked on and were able to progress, I think, started to show some improvement, not only on the transit side, but also on the public works infrastructure side as well. So grateful for that opportunity. I had a great team and had a good time working there. And then recently transitioned to this new role as CEO of Friends of the Underline, which is interesting, where I was the actual director of the department that was helping to build the Underline, and now being on this side to really be a part of the mix of delivering this fantastic asset for Miami-Dade County. It's a interesting transition, but one that I've looked forward to and have had a great time so far.
Well, couldn't have found someone better for the role, given your experience at the department. You already knew the project, you're heavily involved in it, so made for, I'm sure, a smooth transition. So for those who have been living under a rock and haven't heard of the Underline, which I have to imagine is a very small percentage of the population because you do such a great job at promoting the project and engaging the community. But for those who aren't aware of it, what is the Underline?
So the Underline is a 10-mile, 120-acre urban linear park and urban trail. And the uniqueness of the Underline is that it actually is redeveloping and revitalizing unused space underneath the existing Metro Rail system, starting from Miami River and Brickell, going all the way down to Dadeland. So it's roughly 10 miles, and again, 120 acres of green space. What folks will experience when they visit the Underline is not only a beautifully landscaped piece of property, but the feeling and being engrossed in nature and having a safe space for you to be able to walk, bike, and take transit, quite frankly. Yeah. It connects neighborhoods. We have 14 neighborhoods that we bisect. We have 3 different municipalities that are along the Underline, as well as unincorporated Dade. And we provide connectivity for 112,000 households, over 20,000 businesses along the corridor, 4 malls, a variety of different universities and schools. And it's really a fabric that we're developing that's community-led. And so not only is it a mobility option and make it much easier for you to get to where you need to go throughout the county and access to transit, but we also, through our sponsorships, provide programming that's unique to our communities that we serve. And so I'm sure we'll talk more about that later, but the aspect that we have built, and we currently have 2 out of the 3 phases complete now, which is about 2.5 miles. We are building out phase 3, which should be complete in total by summertime/fall of 2026. So basically by next year this time, we'll have all 10 miles complete. And we actually have 3 segments of phase 3, which is about 7 miles in linear length, that will be open later this summer as well. And so we have 20 different amenity spaces along the corridor, and it's a fantastic opportunity for people to come out and not only experience the programming, but to experience these amenity areas where you can commune with nature and just really enjoy yourself here on the property. So I call it.
I've heard it's a series of rooms, right?
Correct. We label them rooms, and so I mentioned as an example one of the rooms that we have is called the River Room, which is right there at the Miami River. If you ever go down to Rosa Sky or American Social, and there's actually a new development that's being built there now, you'll see a beautiful space. We have quite a bit of programming events that occur there. It's one of the unique spaces where we actually have one of our 9 art installations there from a well-known artist, Hank Willis Thomas, who has a sculpture there called Duality. And so not only do you have the ability to experience the artwork that's there, but the space is a fantastic one because it overlooks the river. And we also have a food and beverage vendor that is there called Harbor's Coffee, which is providing coffee to not only the local community, but anybody that decides to come down and visit that particular room. The aspect that I always am shocked and surprised of before I came over to be the CEO of Friends of the Underline is how much activity and what is going on within this space. And what I realize is that, yes, it's a beautiful linear park and urban trail, but at the end of the day, this is really an economic development project. Yeah. And that's why we have a lot of attention, a lot of support from our local communities, quite frankly, from the state and all the way up to the U.S. Department of Transportation from a national level. And we're internationally known as the best in city building in terms of redeveloping underutilized space that provides greater connectivity and such a great asset for our communities. And so we help support business and workforce development. We help identify opportunities for entertainment and recreation. We have nature and resiliency that's built into the project. We have culture and art, and we have health and wellness. Yeah. That's kind of our platform. That's what we do. So it's more than just a trail or park. It is really an economic development project that is a true asset to Miami-Dade County. And it's being facilitated and led by a unique structure. It's a public-private partnership structure that we have. And without the support not only from our private contributors for the project, but also all of the municipalities as well as the county and the state, this project would not have happened without that public-private partnership focus and that investment. And so we're excited. And as people learn more about the Underline, we want you to consider this as an opportunity for you to come down and experience all the great programming. But also, on a Saturday, randomly, you can say, hey, let's go down to the Underline, see what's going on and experience this great space. Yeah.
Roll out a blanket, have a picnic.
And enjoy the space. We do have also programming as well that you can participate in on the weekends. We often have what are called family days in one of our amenity areas called the Hammock Playground. That allows families to come out with kids of all ages to experience that fantastic nature-based
little nook
playground.
Yeah, a lot of people don't ever see, right?
Right, and it's there in Brickell. Yeah. And if you think about it, it is the only playground in Brickell that has that type of access and that type of natural playground elements. But also we have yoga on Thursdays and Saturdays. We have yoga at the Vizcaya station right there in front of the plaza. It's a beautiful opportunity, and we've that program continues to grow there at the location. And then we have yoga on Saturdays at Brickell as well. So a lot of our programming are due to the fact that we have great partners and sponsors. One of our sponsors is Baptist Health of South Florida. And we just had a groundbreaking event about 2 to 3 weeks ago where they will be the sponsor for an amenity area called Pineland Courts, which we will have pickleball, full court basketball, room for a mini soccer pitch, and then also their sponsor for the fitness room. We will have outdoor fitness equipment as well as a half court basketball. And so those sponsorships allow for free programming that can be provided in the community. And we have well over 200 free programs that we provide. So these are the things that I didn't realize was happening at the Underline when I was in my other position.
We're focused on the infrastructure piece, but really it's a living, breathing organism.
100%. And when you're on the side where you have to deliver the project, you're focused on delivering the project on time and on budget, which this is one of those projects where the great leadership at the county, the project managers at the county, as well as in coordination with our staff, has really made sure that we're working together to deliver this project on time, on schedule, and on budget. It's a $150 million capital project, and that's an opportunity for us to be proud.
Which sounds like a lot, but given everything that it is and what you're doing, it's amazing what you're doing with the $150 million. It could easily be $500 million.
Right, correct.
You know, so you're using that money wisely. So, and by the way, shout out to Baptist and to the Underline for those free pickleball sets that you gave away at that event.
Yes.
I played my first game of pickleball with my kids this last weekend with that set. So
good.
I'm looking forward to the courts.
You're still standing. You're not.
Oh, the great thing about pickleball is it's perfect for people my age because you don't have to move as much as you do with tennis.
Yes.
But listen, as an urban planner, I have to give a huge shout out to the Underline and to Meg Daly, who kind of started it all, but she'd be the first to say that, you know, there are a lot of people involved in bringing this to fruition. But it checks every box, you know, as an urban planner that I care about. Yes, it's infrastructure, it's first, last mile connectivity to transit, it's bicycle pedestrian, but it's resiliency, it's community building, it's obviously parks and recreation. It's community building, and it's all done exceptionally well, right? I mean, it's all about high quality. Mm-hmm. And I think the reason it's so successful and why you have so much buy-in is I have never seen a project engage the community at the depth and at the level that this project has from the very beginning.
Correct.
And I think that has made all the difference because you built a project and are building a project that the people want. And you know that from having engaged them, right?
Right. And you're exactly right. From the very beginning, even how the idea was conceptualized.
Yeah.
You know, this came from an individual, Meg Daly, who had an incident. Mm-hmm. And the incident was that she had a bicycle accident, broke both of her wrists. Right? And as she's going to physical therapy, she's recognizing the difference in temperature as she's walking.
She was walking along the empath at the time.
The empath at the time. And so you had an individual that had a spark, an idea, and cultivated that idea with the community, was able to raise money to actually go through the initial planning phases. And so from the very outset, this project was community driven and people driven because the idea came from a person that was a part of a community that saw the value and this crazy ideas in terms of what she calls it. And so I think it's important that we would like to have all infrastructure projects to go through that same level of community engagement, where what you're designing for, what you're planning for, and what you're building is in the best interest of the community that project is going to be built in. That those are the best and most successful projects. And so, even the planning and the community engagement is something that's unique, and it really allows for the community to provide input into what is to be designed, but also to what the asset and the property should be used for. And and it doesn't stop at the initial stages of the planning for the project. We consistently engage our communities. We have a director of community engagement that goes out every single day, who is talking to community, who's also talking to the business community as well, and a variety of different stakeholders that see the value of the Underline and figure out ways to forge future partnerships to continue to have this to be that one, I would say, project that could be that linchpin for community involvement, for programming and everything else that we can provide as a project and as an organization. And so we do surveys to try to get feedback to figure out what other programming we want to have or how well or things that we need to improve on. And that's embedded into what the Underline is about. And as a part of that, since community involvement was a critical factor in the development of the Underline, we consistently have volunteers that come up and volunteer their time, whether it be to help volunteer for specific events and programs, to corporations that want to come out and do what is called a day in the dirt, where they get team members as a part of a company to come out and actually help plant plantings and trees and the like along the corridor, or just help do cleanup along the 10-mile stretch as well. And so, again, if the idea did not start being focused on community first, we would not be in a position where we have this project that everyone supports. It's one of the rare projects that I've had in my career where, to a person, everyone sees what the project is about and wants the help and either investor time or investor dollars to help support it long term.
No, it's all been done very well, and it's one of the reasons why it's so varied, right? Yes, it's a 10-mile corridor, but like you said, you have dozens of different rooms, everything from a very active brickle backyard, which is highly programmed, and you have basketball courts to very passive space. So you've been able to localize what people want in different parts of the corridor and respond to their needs and desires, right?
So, and I'll give an example. One of the amenity areas that will be open hopefully later this summer is one of our largest amenity areas called Grove Gallery. This is a space between Southwest 27th and 24th. It's 130,000 square feet worth of open space. We plan to have food markets there and an eatery there and the like. But the one component that was directly a result of the outreach from the community is that we have 2 bocce ball courts that we've installed in a regulation size, and
people take their bocce balls seriously.
Right, and that's an example of through the planning and design process of building in a community amenity that was a direct reflection of the input that we received through that process. And so I would say almost every single amenity area, every design, every tree that's being planted location-wise, and every type of program that we have, it's not being done randomly. It's being done based on the demand that we've heard or sponsors have heard. And to your point, I think that's been the foundation of how successful this has been to date. And we're not done. So far we have, say, about 2.5 million people that annually visit the Underline. We're projected to be at 9 million people that would visit the Underline annually once it's fully built out. We support over 300 businesses through a variety of different programming and the like. We have workforce development programs where we're actually training our community in the space of horticulture so they can get certified and go out and seek additional employment or stay with the Underline as we move forward. And we just continue to find new ways to use a space to be as innovative as possible and really have this asset be one that can be a shining beacon for the community. Last thing I'll mention is that the Underline allows us to leverage technology in a way that you would not find in a traditional park system. And we have not only fantastic lighting along the corridor that allows it for our users to feel safe as they navigate up and down the trail. We will also have security cameras and the like. And then we have other technology that allows us to identify where our assets are, and it puts us in a good position so we can manage those assets in the most effective manner. When we say assets, it's everything from identifying where all of our trees are. We have over 500,000 native species that are planted throughout their corridor, and we have technology that identifies those particular locations that can turn into how we maintain them long term. And then other data that can be collected out of the technology that's been installed along the corridor. We're able to do that through a grant with the USDA, and it's something that again could be a model for how you integrate technology into a public space to help you manage and operate the space better, and again be good purveyors of public sector funds and private dollars as we move forward, in terms of having the Underline be this fantastic asset.
Just when I thought I knew everything about the Underline, I didn't know about all those technological pieces. That's incredible. Yet another box checked.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Yes.
So let's go back to one of those boxes I mentioned earlier, which is resiliency and sustainability. So this is a model, yet again, for how to build a project that is resilient and that checks a lot of those sustainability boxes. So let's speak more to that. I mean, I know there's a lot of native landscaping, et cetera.
Correct. Right. 500 native species, and this is an important part because one, we have a fantastic staff and our horticulture list is fantastic, and we've identified the best species that can live in the environment where you don't have to water as much as what you would if you
Mm-hmm.
plant a non-native species plant, but also no fertilization,
Nice.
right? And
Yeah.
what does
Especially
that
with our
mean?
groundwater issues,
Right.
you don't
So
want
what
that seeping in.
Correct. What does that mean? That means that's the green infrastructure allows for better stormwater management
Yeah.
practices to occur. But also at the same time, if you really think about it, because we have so many plants that have been installed, and there's specific areas that have been designed as bioswales.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden now, again, you're managing stormwater much better. Stormwater is coming down off of the guideway from Metro Rail, or just running from the surrounding area, street, or from the trail itself. You're capturing that water, you're filtering it before it gets into the aquifer. Again, best in class type of stormwater management treatment that the Underline can bring. And so it's just, again, I keep going back to the fact that it's more than just a trail. All of these elements are having all of these other benefits that our communities will actually receive because of the planting. And we've have deployed a unique planting technique called microforce, where we will have roughly 11 microforce throughout the corridor. This is a Mikawasi, I believe I pronounced it right, method of
Mikasuki? The Indians? Yes.
of planting that allows for competition among plants that are planted in a manner in a kind of a dense environment. And so basically the strongest survive, and then when that occurs, all of a sudden you have more growth than we anticipated before if you didn't plant those trees and other native species in a particular manner. So those techniques, and we say we're the first to do it in South Florida, and we say the state of Florida, but we have installed already 2 microforests, and we'll end up having 11 across the entire corridor. I'm saying that to say that there's a heat island effect that the project has by not only what we planted, but the techniques and how we're planting that can reduce the heat island effect along the Underline, and again, creating a more sustainable and resilient environment moving forward.
That's incredible. I mean, the level of thought and holistic thinking that goes into this is incredible. And as I said, and I know a lot about this project, and every day I learn something more. I've learned a number of new things today, and there's probably a lot more going on that I don't even know about. So it's truly impressive. And as I said, a model for others to follow. So let's talk about that aspect. So yet another great thing about the Underline is how giving it's been of its time. So I think there's a recognition that we're a model, and we want to share that with the world, right? Starting here in our own backyard. And I know people have flown in from around the world to check out the Underline, to learn from it. But even in our own backyard, it's really serving as an inspiration for other communities. And we could start with those that actually connect to the Underline. So the Underline is a spine.
Right.
But it's a spine that is going to connect a number of other trails, whether it's bicycle pedestrian trails or even parks. So I don't know if the Miami Loop is still kind of the term that is being used, but what does the Underline connect to that kind of serves some of the surrounding communities?
Sure. So the Underline connects the South Day Trail, which goes further south. But more importantly, the Underline will eventually connect with Ludlam Trail as well. Yeah. And so
near and dear to my heart, I live right off of it, so
let's
get that Ludlam Trail done.
Right, there's definitely a demand to make sure you move from the county moves forward with that project. But the ultimate plan is to make that connection happen, and then also to build out and make improvements in Snapper Creek as well. And so once you have those 3 elements connected with the Underline, you'll have close to 25 miles worth of fantastic bike and pedestrian trails throughout the county. And there's other opportunities, I would say, as well. This is something that the success of the Underline can be replicated and brought to scale in different areas within the county, and we want to make sure that we are set up to start to think about the other communities that might see value in this type of project, and helping them actually build out something that's similar in terms of what the Underline provides as a fantastic public space. We've had conversations, and I get asked all the time, when's it coming across the river and going downtown and the like, and I say, well, what we're doing now is actually having conversations with areas in the community that downtown that are interested in a similar type of infrastructure. We've met with CRA in Overtown, for example, the 9th Street pedestrian mall project that they have. A lot of those elements there as a part of that project are elements that you would find on the Underline as well.
Yeah. The underdeck, kind of in that
the
same
underdeck
community,
is another one.
Borrowed on the name.
Right, exactly. And so, so the opportunity to leverage what has been learned to that, and how the Underline went from a concept idea through the planning and design process actually being available to the community, are lessons that we want everybody to take from. And so we definitely want to signal to everybody that not only the asset is for everybody that lives here in Miami-Dade County, it's a destination that we want visitors that are coming to Miami to be able to experience. But in other communities, we're available to be a resource for you as you reconsider how to redevelop similar type properties. City Hialeah, as an example,
Hyaline,
the Hyaline, that's something that they have an interest in, and so we want to help support other municipalities and other communities if they have those similar type of ideas as well.
Another one I've heard of recently is the Shoreline. Right?
Correct. The Shoreline is a new concept. Which is really taking a look at planning and redesigning for the Rickenbacker Causeway. It's kind of in the early stages, but there have been most recently in the past month or so some conversations around a concept that would allow for more open public space and greater beach access for the area along the Rickenbacker. At the same time, improving traffic flow and safety and the like along that corridor. So there will be more discussions around that. That's a significant and a large project, a lot of stakeholders involved, but I would say one of the core elements of that project is to establish a fantastic open public space that allows for the safe movement of pedestrians and bicycles, and then reimagine the space underneath a structure that would truly be a fantastic amenity for the communities, not only along the Rickenbacker, but also again for everybody that lives here within Miami-Dade County and people that choose to visit here. So exciting idea, exciting concept. A lot more work has to be done to flush out the planning and elements in that, and those conversations are just starting. And
what people should understand, all of this doesn't happen easily or overnight, right? Yes. You said a lot of work, and as the trailblazer in the community, I think it was even harder because, Meg and friends of the Underline were kind of trailblazers, if you'll excuse the pun, at least here locally, in terms of, what this project is and how it was implemented. A lot of bureaucratic obstacles, a lot of funding challenges. And so I really have to tip my hat to all of you for sticking with it, because that, I think, is probably the biggest lesson, is you have to have tenacity. You can't take no for an answer. You have to find creative solutions. You have to build, grassroots support so that when things get difficult, you have that Underline army behind you to push things through. So yet again, another example of how the Underline has kind of served as a model. Now, hopefully, it'll be easier for others as they follow you because you blazed that trail. And I would say that the Underline doesn't happen without the support of our stakeholders. Yeah. All right. So, yes, the idea generated through the community and through Meg, but you have to have support. You have to have support on from the municipalities, from the community, as well as our elected officials as well, to help support moving the project forward. Really, no project is ever easy, right? So if projects were easy, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't need humans to actually facilitate this. So it's understood that there's always going to be headwinds. But to your point, if you have everybody bought into a vision, which I believe everybody understands the value of the Underline in this unique project, that you can work together to overcome those obstacles. I think that's key, and working together and having some perseverance and not shying away from having a hard conversations to figure out how we can make this a fantastic asset. I would say that that's kind of the vibe that the Underline has and the leadership that exists here today.
we all want to do what's best for the community. And so the partnerships are extremely important, and we value those partnerships. And that's why I mentioned the uniqueness of this project being a public-private partnership is something that is another model that other communities can take as a way to conceptualize something and then figure out a way to identify the funding to go build it, get it done, and then figure out ways to have its long-term effect on communities as a positive one. The project, especially if it has an economic development slant to it, which the Underline does. We had a study that was conducted by a consultant that identified that the Underline would bring over $50 million worth of economic activity. That's extremely important, especially in today's time. The Underline is here to make everyone's life better and easier. So it's a quality of life project with an economic development component that's really supported by public sector and private sector investment. And it's just a fantastic way to go about redeveloping and revitalizing public space in a unique manner and still delivering a very positive result for our community.
So for those who have now been inspired and want to be a part of the Underline, either just to experience its programming or perhaps enlist as a volunteer, or maybe even if you have some employment opportunities, where should they go?
Sure. So you should log on to theunderline.org, and there's an opportunity for one, of course, to donate to this fantastic project, but also we have volunteer opportunities as well. We have a call for volunteers now. And then on that website, you can easily find all of the programming that we have on a weekly basis. We also have an Instagram and social media accounts as well, the Underline, and visit Instagram or X, formerly known as Twitter. You'll find all of the updates that we're providing as well. So we encourage everybody to, just take some time out to not only visit the website and then take advantage of the opportunity of what you would see and learn on the webpage, but come and visit the Underline. If you live down south, take Metro Rail to come up. If you live up north, you can also figure out a way to take Metro Rail to get down to one of the stops, whether it be the Brickell stop or Vizcaya stop for our phase 1 and 2, many areas, and then eventually you'll be able to get all the way down to Dayland South and experience the greatness that's called the Underline.
Absolutely. So, Eulois, knowing you to be the public servant that you are, I'm sure, even with all the work you're doing for the Underline, that you're involved in other things. Any organizations you want to mention or give a shout out to?
On a national level, I continue to be involved in all the industry-related organizations. But there's one organization I recently joined called 100 Black Men in South Florida. That organization is the premier mentoring organization for youth here in South Florida. And so, in fact, they helped sponsor an event with the city of Miami Gardens about 2 weeks ago, where we at the Underline River Room actually had vendors come down from Miami Gardens and the surrounding community, as well as individuals from all over came to experience not only those Miami Garden visitors and vendors, but also to hear remarks from Council Member Linda Julian from the city of Miami Gardens, and the president, Pierre Rutledge, of the 100 Black Men in South Florida. And so that organization does a fantastic job of mentoring the youth. There are 2 mentoring programs, Dr. Harold Ginyard mentoring program that actually happens on the weekends, and it's a multiple week long curriculum that occurs that's really teaching life skills to the youth. And then we have a positive youth development program where we sponsor and we have partnerships with 3 different high schools and middle schools and the like to go in and actually during the lunch period actually help mentor selected youth that attend that school, all in the effort to make sure that we're preparing the best generation of individuals and citizens here within the nation. Economic empowerment is important, and health and wellness is important to our organization as well, but it is truly one of the best mentoring organizations I've been a part of.
That's great. And you've been a part of so many amazing things and continue to be. So unfortunately, that's all the time we have. And I know you're going to come back on, and I would love to have members of your team on and your volunteers to talk about the Underline, because there's so many things we didn't even touch on, right?
Yeah,
I mean, we could spend hours talking about this project. But thank you, first of all, for appearing on the program. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for what you've done in the past. There's some great accomplishments that we didn't even touch on, like the South Quarter that's about to open. So we'll have to continue the conversation.
Absolutely. We appreciate having you. Thank you.
And folks, thank you for tuning into Mobility Matters. You can catch us here every other Thursday from 9:30 to 10:30 here in these lovely studios. Once again, I want to thank our partners in this endeavor, Miami's community newspapers, for producing and hosting us here. Till next time.